Hi friends, I welcome you all to today's session on upcoming UPSC, APFC and EO AO 2023 examination. So today we are going to discuss again some very important MCQs on accountancy. So this is the part 2. In the first part we discussed some questions and I hope you are able to understand them. आपको कुछ accounting का basic समझ में आया. And now we are going to discuss some more MCQs and believe me बहुत ही इजी क्वेश्चंस आते हैं एग्जामिनेशन में एंड अगर आप इनको कर लेंगे यू आर डेफिनेटली गोइंग टू अटेन अ कॉम्पिटिटिव एज ओवर ऑल अदर एस्पिरेंट्स. सो फटाफट से लेट्स क्विकली स्टार्ट दिस सेशन. So friends, in the EPFO EO AO 2021 examination, 116 selections were from EduTap and we are again ready for the upcoming APFC and EO AO examination. And are you guys ready for the same? Do let me know in the comment section. So friends, let's start our discussion with the answer of the homework question. So this was the question. In a balance sheet, the accruals, the notes payable and accounts payable. So we are talking about our payable items. So these payable items ये हमारी liabilities हो जाएंगी. And these liabilities, these accounts payable, these are our short-term liabilities. Okay, and short-term liabilities, they are classified as current liabilities. So correct answer is going to be option number A. So you should be aware कि what is the difference between current and non-current liabilities. And अगर आपको ये पता था तो I think बहुत ही easy होगा आपके लिए इस सवाल को आंसर करना. And you should also know कि जो payable होते हैं they are our liabilities and all the receivables, अगर receivables लिखा होता क्वेश्चन के अंदर then all the receivables they are our assets. So this is the thing that you should know to answer this question. So now let's come to the very first question for today's session. Now this is which is the last step of accounting as a process of information. Now this accounting as a process, it is providing some information, okay, and it comprises several steps to generate that information. The options are preparation of summaries in the form of financial statements, recording of data in the books of accounts, analysis and interpretation of information, and communication of information. So my dear friends, when we talk about the cycle or the process of accounting, then the first step is to identify what all transactions are to be recorded in the books of accounts. After identification, these transactions are actually recorded in the books of accounts and they are recorded and they are finally summarized in the form of the financial statements. Then these financial statements, they are analyzed, different ratios are computed and all the relevant information, it is presented in a form of an annual report and it is given to the shareholders and all the relevant stakeholders of the company or the organization. So the last step or the final step is to communicate whatever information that has been generated from the process of accounting to all the relevant users of accounting. So the correct answer to this question has to be option number D. So option D becomes the correct answer to this question. Now the next question that we have, it's a very factual question on accounting. The pioneer of accounting, okay, the pioneer, the person who is associated with the evolution of accounting, who gave the basic principles of the double entry system. He is also referred to as the father of accounting. Okay, the options are Arthur Fieldhouse, Gitman, William Pickles and Lucas Pecoli. So my dear friends, this is a very important fact that you have to remember. The correct answer is going to be option number D, Lucas Pecoli. So Lucas Pecoli was the first person to publish the detailed material on the double entry system of accounting. He was an Italian mathematician. So this is the name that you have to remember as father or pioneer of accounting. Now let's come to the next question. According to the prescribed order of assets in a company's balance sheet, dash assets should be shown first of all. Non-current assets, current investments or loans and advances. So friends, when we talk about a balance sheet of a company, so this balance sheet of the company, it comprises the assets as well as liabilities. And if you're talking about the assets, then first we have the non-current assets. Okay, first we have the non-current assets like furniture, like building that you have, machinery that you have. And after that we have the current assets like your inventory, your cash, your receivables. So they are all shown in the current assets after the non-current assets. So first we are going to have non-current assets. So correct answer this question has to be option number A. So this is something that you have to remember. Non-current assets and non-current liabilities are shown first of all in a balance sheet. Correct answer becomes option number A. Now moving on to the next question. When bad position of the business is tried to be depicted as good, it is known as. So what happens is sometimes the position of the business is not good. For example, there is a business, and if you look at the assets of this particular business, you may find there is one land which is appearing, one machinery which is appearing, some receivables which are there in the company. Okay, and let's suppose the amounts of these is 10 lakh, 5 lakh and 12 lakh. Okay, now these are the amounts which are being reflected in the balance sheet. And इफ आई लुक एट द रियल पोजीशन, अगर मैं एक्चुअल में जाके देखता हूं कि लैंड की वैल्यू क्या है, तो लैंड की वैल्यू 10 लाख यहाँ पे दिख तो रही है, बट एक्चुअल में वो लैंड अभी अगर बेचने जाए तो 1 लाख की भी नहीं है. Similarly, the machinery, it is appearing at 5 lakh, but the actual worth is not more than 1 lakh. Similarly, the receivables are appearing at 12 lakh, but the receivables worth rupees 7 lakh, let's say, they are not going to pay the money. So we are trying to make sure that the financial statements, they look good, but actually they are not good. Okay, so what we are trying to do, we are trying to do something, and this something is what is being asked in this question. Options are personal bias, price level changes, window dressing, or all of the above. Now you have to choose the most appropriate answer out of these. Some of you might be thinking that price level changes are not being reflected. Some of you might feel that personal bias is coming into the picture. But the most appropriate term that we use for this thing, when we try to depict our financial statement as good, but actually it is not that good. We try to show our assets at an inflated value, but actually the value is less. So this practice is referred to as window dressing. So correct answer to this question has to be option number C. So the concept of window dressing, it means manipulation of the accounts to present financial statements in a way to show better position than actual. Assets may be overstated and liabilities may be understated. So correct answer, as we discussed, is option number C. Now let's come to the next question. Long-term creditors are those creditors who provide funds for. A very simple question. Options हमारे पास हैं. More than 1 year, only 1 year, more than 1 year and only 1 year, none of the options. So my dear friends, we can classify all our liabilities into current liabilities and non-current liabilities. Okay, and the general parameter that we have is all the liabilities which are expected to be settled in less than a year, they are classified as a current liability, and all those liabilities or obligations which will be settled in more than a year, they are classified as non-current or long-term liability. Okay, so long-term creditors are going to be paid in more than 1 year. Their funds are going to remain with us for more than 1 year. So I hope you now are aware of the correct answer. So as you got it, option number A, more than 1 year, is the correct answer to this particular question. And my dear friends, if you are enjoying the today's session, you are learning some new things, don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel as well. Now we have the next question. The statement of cash flows clarifies cash flows according to. Now when we talk about the financial statements of a company, we all know balance sheet and PL is there. But there is another very important financial statement, which is cash flow statement, which talks about the flow of cash and cash equivalents during the year. Okay, so for example, our cash and bank balance at the beginning of the year, it was around 1 lakh, and at the end of the year, it is rupees 9 lakh. So we are going to look at the sources from which we got this cash, rupees 8 lakh addition to the cash and bank balance. So we are going to look at how this 8 lakh has come into our books. ये 8 lakh हमें कौन से sources से आया है? So this is done in a systematic manner. We try to identify the sources of the cash by dividing it into 3 basic categories. So the categories that you have to remember is, number 1 is operating activity. So we try to understand how much of this 8 lakh is from the core operations of the company, from the normal purchases, sales, normal payments to suppliers, payments received from receivables. So normal operations से कितना cash flow हमें हुआ है. Next is investing activity. So there may be a case in which we may have sold our machinery, we may have sold certain building. Okay, we may have made certain investments और अभी हमने उन investments को बेच दिया और उन investments से हमें cash realize हो गया. So they are our investing activities. Similarly, we may be making some investments, we may be purchasing some new building, new machinery. So they are also going to be classified as investing activity. Then we have the financing activity. So we all know कि finance is the lifeblood of a business. तो किसी भी business को finance तो चाहिए चाहिए. And in the financing activity, we are basically talking about the long-term sources of finance. So किसी भी business के पास finance आता है equity shareholder से, वो डेट ले सकता है, बैंक से लोन ले सकता है, लॉन्ग टर्म लोन ले सकता है, एंड इसके ऊपर इंटरेस्ट और डिविडेंड की पेमेंट्स भी की जाती है रेगुलर बेसिस पे. So all these transactions, all the loans that we are taking for long term basis, all the new shares that we have issued, dividend interest payments that we have made, all these they are classified as financing activities. So this is how the cash flow is segregated in a systematic manner into three activities which you have to remember. So guys, the correct answer to this question would become option number D, operating, investing and financing activities. Now coming to the next question, a concept that a business enterprise will not be sold or liquidated in the near future is known as. Okay, so whenever we are preparing the financial statements of a business enterprise, we assume that this business is to be carried on forever or for a very long period of time. We are not going to shut down this business in, let's say, 1 year, 2 year or 3 years. So this business we are going to continue to operate for a foreseeable period of time. We are not going to just wind it up in a year or 2 years. So this is the basic assumption that all accountants are making while preparing their accounts or financial statements. This is the reason we make segregation between capital and revenue expenditure, and only the revenue expenditures are shown in the profit and loss statement, and all the capital expenditures they are carried over to future years in our balance sheet. ओके तो हमारी बिजनेस एंटरप्राइज को अभी बंद नहीं किया जाएगा, उसे लंबे समय तक चलाया जाएगा. दिस इज एज पर विच कंसेप्ट? ऑप्शंस आर गोइंग कंसर्न, इकोनॉमिक एंटिटी, मॉनेटरी यूनिट और नन ऑफ द अबव. द आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन इज वेरी सिंपल. The correct answer is option number A, going concern concept. So going concern concept states that we are going to continue our operations for the foreseeable future and we are not going to just discontinue our business in coming future. So this is the assumption that all accountants are making. Correct answer becomes option number A, a very easy and a very important accounting concept. Now coming to the next one, and this is a previous year question guys. Let's see how simple it is. Is the total of debit and credit side of a trial balance the same? Options are no, there are sometimes good reasons why they differ. Yes, always. Yes, except when the trial balance is extracted at the year end. No, because it's not a balance sheet. Okay. I hope you are aware about what is a trial balance. So in the accounting process, the first step that we are doing, the first thing that we are doing is we record all the transactions in a sequential manner, okay, and this is done in a journal. From the journal, the transactions they are posted to their respective ledger accounts, and at the end of the year, all the balances of the ledger accounts they are taken to the trial balance. तो ड्यूरिंग द ईयर हमने जो भी काम किया, जो भी ट्रांजेक्शंस किए, हम उनको उनके जो भी बैलेंसेस बच रहे थे एट द एंड ऑफ द ईयर. सो लेट्स सपोज कैश का कुछ बैलेंस बच रहा था हमारे पास. इसके अलावा हमने ड्यूरिंग द ईयर कुछ परचेसेस किए, ये परचेसेस का बैलेंस था जो ड्यूरिंग द ईयर हमने किए. हमने सेल्स किया, हमने कोई सैलरीज पे किया. सो वट एवर वी हैव डन ड्यूरिंग द ईयर, सो टोटल ऑफ ऑल दोज अकाउंट्स, the balance which is appearing in all those accounts, they are going to be taken to the trial balance. And guys, we all know the accounting is based on double entry system. Okay, for every debit there is going to be a credit. So whenever you are going to record a transaction, it is always going to have two aspects, one debit and another credit. So ultimately all the balances that we are going to have in the form of debit or in the form of credit, they are going to match, they are going to be equal. So trial balance, debit and credit sides, they are going to match in every case. अगर वो match नहीं कर रहे, it means there is some error in your accounts. There is some error while recording your transactions or maybe while balancing your ledger accounts. So the correct answer to this question has to be option number B. Yes, always they have to be equal. So guys, the correct answer as we have discussed is option number B. Yes, always. Now coming to the next question, under which method the amount of depreciation remains same year after year? So guys, in our business we are using or purchasing different assets. Okay, some are current or some are non-current or fixed assets. We may be purchasing a building, we may be purchasing a car, we may be purchasing a AC, we may be purchasing certain other machinery. Okay, now this machinery or building that we have purchased, so let's suppose we have purchased this building machinery for rupees 5.5 lakhs. Okay, now this machinery is going to give us benefits for 5 years. For 5 years it is going to give us the benefit, and after 5 years it will be discarded, it will be sold at a value of 0.5 lakhs. Okay, at a value of rupees 0.5 lakhs. So this rupees 5.5 lakh is going to become 0.5 lakh at the end of the 5 year. So the value of the machinery over the 5 years that we are going to utilize for the purpose of business is going to be rupees 5 lakh. Okay, तो 5.5 lakh का खरीदा है और 0.5 का 5 साल के बाद बेच देंगे, तो 5 लाख जो है वो हमारे बिजनेस के अंदर यूज होने वाला है. And this 5 lakh is going to be used over a period of 5 years. Okay, so we have to include this 5 lakh every year in our profit and loss statement on a systematic basis. So हर साल इस 5 लाख में से 1 लाख हम अपने प्रॉफिट में से लेस कर लेंगे and this is known as depreciation. हर साल हम इस मशीनरी को 1 लाख से depreciation कर लेंगे. हर साल we are going to have an equal amount of depreciation, and this basically means that we are writing off an equal amount. We are writing off a fixed installment of depreciation every year in our financial statements, and this is known as the straight line method of depreciation or fixed installment method of depreciation. Okay, so in this particular case the correct answer has to be, if you have read the options, you would now know the correct answer has to be option number A, fixed installment method. So guys, we have two popular methods of charging depreciation on the assets. Okay, so one is the straight line method or the fixed installment method, as we have called this one in this particular question, and in this we are writing off an equal amount every year in our profit and loss statement. Every year 1 lakh is being reduced from the value of the asset and is being written off in the profit and loss statement. We could have also used very popular method, another very popular method, which is written down value method or a reducing balance method. Okay, reducing balance method. Now in this particular method, a fixed rate of depreciation is decided and every year on the value of the asset this rate is applied. For example, we have an asset, we have purchased an asset for rupees 1 lakh. Okay, this 1 lakh is the amount for which we have purchased the asset, and 10% is the rate of depreciation. First year we are going to write off 1 lakh ka 10%, yani ki 10,000 we are going to write it off, and the value that is going to remain is 90,000. Next year we are going to again write off 10%, and this 10% is going to be applied on 90,000. So next year 9,000 is going to be written off, and similarly in the very next year we are going to write off 8,100. So there is this another way in which we are charging depreciation on the written down value of the previous year. We are charging depreciation and this depreciation amount is reducing every year. Okay, so this is the reducing balance method which we could have also followed. So these are the very popular two methods of charging depreciation on assets. So correct answer to this question would become option number A, as we have already discussed. Now is the time for the homework question. Under dash, the amount of depreciation each year is less than the amount provided for in the previous year. Now this would be very simple for all of you guys, and I want answers from all of you to this particular question. Options are fixed installment method, reducing balance method, NUT method, or a depletion method. NUT and depletion method, you need not go into detail. If you want to read them, you can Google them and read them slightly. But I don't think you should go into much detail for these particular methods, especially if you are from a non-commerce background. So guys, here we end our today's session, and before concluding it, let me just quickly tell you that we have these different courses for upcoming UPSC, APFC and EO AO 2023 examination. So you can check out all these courses. You have comprehensive courses and even test series that you can avail. And if you have any query, if you have any doubt regarding these courses, you can contact us. You can get this number and you can call us at this number, or you can even mail us at hello@edutab.co.in. So guys, this is it for today. Thank you and happy learning.